Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the witnesses. To you, Mr. Stewart, I'll start off by saying, in the words of Perrin Beatty, extraordinary powers require extraordinary government accountability. With all due respect to you, sir, to the questions put to you by my colleague, Mr. Motz, I do not accept your response that Minister Mendocino did not use his words appropriately when he's on record as stating that law enforcement directed or asked for the use of the Emergencies Act. Your response was he chose the wrong set of words, or he was misunderstood. Minister Mendocino is a senior government official. He's been a member of Parliament for a significant period of time. He is a lawyer. Words matter. He spoke in the House numerous times. He gave speeches in the House numerous times, responded to questions, did press releases, went on television, and every time he did that, Mr. Stewart, he was consistent in his messaging that law enforcement asked for the use of the Emergencies Act. And it was only until law enforcement testifying at this committee and other committees flat out refuted that statement did we hear a change in Minister Mendocino by stating they were consulting with law enforcement. My question to you is, were you yourself responsible, or members of your office responsible, in terms of giving Minister Mendocino those words that law enforcement asked for the Emergencies Act on numerous occasions?
We don't script the minister, sir.
Who does?
The minister speaks for himself.
The minister prepares his own notes?
I do believe he was misunderstood. Because when you say on the advice of law enforcement, the advice does not necessarily have to be about asking them.
It wasn't on the
act.
advice. Listen to my question very carefully. He is on record, and I don't have enough time to repeat verbatim what he has stated on the record, that they asked for, law enforcement asked for the Emergencies Act. Not law enforcement consulted with the government as an option to deal with the protest, to deal with the invocation of the act. They had asked for it. If you knew he was misconstruing those words, why didn't you inform Minister Mendocino to clarify that in the House, or to clarify that in the public?
I serve the minister, and I'm not at liberty to discuss the advice I provide him, but I can tell you that I think he was misunderstood. And I believe that the intention that he was trying to express was that law enforcement asked for the tools that were contained in the Emergencies Act.
So it wasn't just Minister Mendocino who was misconstrued or misunderstood. It was the Prime Minister. It was Minister Blair. It was Minister Lametti. It was probably members of the Liberal caucus who all used that same talking point that law enforcement asked for it. Was the entire government misunderstood, Mr. Stewart? Canadians want transparency here. Who is giving directions to the government if it's not your department?
Mr. Chair, just on a point of order, I think this witness is here to testify with respect to public safety and the advice you would have given to Minister Mendocino.
He has the ability to answer the questions. He's been doing it quite capably all meeting.
I don't think that question is relevant in terms of his expertise.
I rule it in order, and he can answer the question.
The public service does not give direction to the government, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. We will now go on to...